morning, students. As we are progressing towards our Unit 5 topic, there are various standards basically related to the specifically audit and compliance. Unit 5 is focusing on audit and compliance, and today's session is basically all related to credit card transactions and securing the data. As you have seen in the previous sessions, we have discussed about various compliance, right? So today's topic is very important, specifically with respect to the credit card transactions and other sensitive data that is used for online transactions. So you must be doing many of the transactions, right, online. You must be buying so many things. So are you actually aware whether they are compliant or following certain security standards? Are you aware? I guess so, right? So you have to do check what type of transactions are basically done and where all the information basically flows for your credit card, how the actual system works, how the payment card industry works, or if at all you are storing your credit card details on some cloud service provider's environment, how it is being managed, whether they are basically complying with the security standards or no, or even when your information or a credit card transaction data is being flowing through various networks, you also need to check whether it is basically secure, the network is secure or no. So there are various factors where one needs to consider about all this. So we will be studying about that in today's session. Right? So today's session is very much focusing on payment card industry and data security standards. Just look at it today. Good morning, students. Let us continue with our next topic in audit and compliance, and it is related to basically security standards. So the subtopic is PCI DSS, that is Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So basically this is very much related to the credit card transactions that are conducted online, or the debit card transactions that are conducted online, and these standards are basically set to see that there is no data loss when the transactions are on. Amazon Web Services is considered as the best and has reached a level 1, that is basically highest for PCI DSS. Let us see more about this in today's session, and what we will see today is about the cloud computing impact of PCI DSS, and also what are the basic requirements for PCI DSS and a brief introduction on this. So PCI DSS basically, as I said, stands for Payment Card Industry and Data Security Standards. So companies basically which are using credit card transactions need to require to these standards, and that is basically evidenced through third party assessment and or self-assessment depending on the volume of card processing activity. So if the card processing activity is pretty high, literally it will go into millions, that time they need to comply by the standards, right? Else there would be a loss of a lot of data, and it could create havoc to the people who are performing online transactions. So these requirements apply whether the cardholder data is processed and stored by a company, or even if it is basically stored and processed by a third party as well. So in general, the PCI compliance is required by credit card companies to make online transactions more secure and protect them against identity theft. If somebody loses their data and it is robbed by somebody, it is called as identity theft, and of course misusing that data of credit card. Somebody is making transactions on your behavior and you have to pay the bill. So that basically somewhere leads to identity theft. So any merchant that wants to process, store or transmit credit card data is required to be a PCI compliant according to the PCI company or PCI Compliance Security Standard Council. So this is basically a council which are defining certain standards, and the companies, any merchant basically who wants to process, store and transmit credit card data, they need to comply these standards. So there are certain set of 12 requirements that are defined by PCI DSS. Let us see about it. So firstly, you need to install and maintain a firewall configuration, and that is basically done to protect the cardholder data. So firewall settings are in such a manner that all the data is basically secure. Do not use vendor default passwords to systems, and specifically security parameters are very vulnerable because of this. So normally people, when they buy things, they do not change the default passwords. This is one of the major issues that is done by these people. So you have to see that you have to change the vendor specific password or vendor supplied password for the system to maintain better security. Protect stored cardholder data. The data needs to be encrypted and a strong encryption algorithm needs to be used to protect the sensitive data. So encrypt transmission of cardholder data across open and public network. So whenever the data is transferred across various open networks, it needs to be encrypted. Again, otherwise very vulnerable to identity theft. Use and regularly update your antivirus software. There are certain viruses also which can create problems. So whichever antivirus you have to regularly update it, and of course you have to use the latest version also. Develop and maintain secure systems and applications. All the systems which are using this data, they need to be very secure. So while developing also you need to take care that security is managed appropriately in the architecture. Restrict access to cardholder data based on the business need to know. So accesses need to be restricted specifically for cardholder based data, and this is basically a need for the business. Assign a unique ID to each person with the computer access. So whoever accesses the computer, they need to maintain a unique ID or needs to be given a unique ID so that it is easy to identify who has accessed the system and when. Restrict physical access to the cardholder data. Data are basically stored on some systems. So those systems have to be, they need to avoid physical access to such servers. Track and monitor all the access to the network resources and cardholder data. So each and every access to the network needs to be tracked, logged rather, and monitored on regular basis. Specifically the cardholder data, these are all stored in the data centers. So you have to restrict the access to the physical servers as well as the logical accesses also need to be tracked. Maintain a policy that addresses information security. So certain policies need to be maintained which basically address the information specifically related to the security. Organizations, now we have to see how the cloud computing will impact or how the PCI DSS will impact the cloud computing specifically when used in the organizations. So organizations are also required to ensure their contract basically with the third party service providers includes PCI DSS compliance. So as AWS is reaching the highest level, everybody who is linked to AWS is of course very secure because they have reached the highest level for the compliance. So in this case also when any organization is linked to any cloud service provider, they also need to see that the CSP is also maintaining the PCI DSS compliance. So when such services basically store and process specifically cardholder data. In the cloud computing environment, the organization and the supporting CSP should clearly define their responsibilities for protection of cardholder data, whether those responsibilities are shared or can be attributed to one party. So one has to see whether what sort of environment it is, what are the responsibilities and what are the protections for the cardholder data, and if at all there is any issue, who is basically responsible or accountability, and this needs to be specifically attributed to specific parties who are responsible for the accountability. A fundamental component of PCI DSS is the need to segmented systems. Basically you need to separate out the systems and the networks that basically store and protect or process the cardholder data from other systems and networks. So you have to segregate or separate those networks, basically those which process the specifically cardholder data. So it is, the scope is narrowed down for the PCI compliance. So using or limiting the number of systems that process or store cardholder data and isolating them, that is separating them on the separate network segments, this basically has major benefits and specifically double benefits of reducing exposure to breaches. Special attack is basically on such networks, and if they are more secure, then of course the breaches could be less, and also narrowing the scope of systems that must be assessed to compliance. So the compliance basically applies only to those narrowed networks or narrowed segments with the PCI DSS requirements. So they are applicable only to the systems used to store and process cardholder data. So the focus remains only for those areas where the cardholder data is processed. If the CSP provides services including processing of credit card transactions, it is important that the CSP clearly defines its information flows. So So information flows are basically flow of the data from various networks. So that information flow needs to be clearly defined by the CSP, especially for credit card transactions, because they have to flow through secured networks. Again, otherwise they are vulnerable for identity theft. So the credit card processing and storage activities also need to be managed appropriately, and thereby the scope is narrowed of the infrastructure. So the infrastructure is the scope basically for the infrastructure is basically narrowed, and that would be subject to PCI compliance. So only that narrowed infrastructure will be focused to or compliant to PCI DSS. In addition to utilizing the end-to-end encryption of sensitive data, so sensitive data need to have end-to-end encryption, which is a kind of more secure technique specifically for cardholder data, and is desirable approach basically for managing the risk or mitigating the risk. From the perspective of a CSP, it is important basically to be aware of the PCI requirements. So CSP's point of view is also important, and also we need to see what all requirements he has specified, and specifically awareness of PCI requirement is a must. So although it is important for the organization to take a programmatic approach to PCI compliance, it is equally important for a CSP to do the same where the CSP supports processing of credit card transactions. So CSP also need to comply. They have to follow a programmatic approach specifically for PCI compliance. The ultimate objective of PCI is to protect the cardholder data whenever the transactions are on, or even when the data is stored, and also prevent breaches and quickly contain a breach if it is occurring. So if at all there is any specific breach, it needs to be controlled. It needs to be seen that further loss of that particular data or that particular breach should be avoided. So these objectives basically are applied to all the sensitive data ring through for cloud computing environment as well. So all the sensitive data in a general traditional environment, also in the cloud computing environment, is very important to secure the data. So these are some of the assignments for today. You can just have a look at it. It is just all focusing on PCI DSS and also how to secure and how the cloud computing will impact. So we are done for today. This is a very small topic, and have segregated this topic for your better understanding. So we are done for today. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can contact me at the specified email address. Thank you.